Over the last 10 years, one name has become synonymous with the electric vehicle revolution: Tesla. Elon Musk's brainchild didn't just build electric cars, it built a movement, disrupted a century-old industry for years, and crowned itself the undisputed king of the EV world. But heavy is the head that wears the crown. In the fourth quarter of 2023, something unthinkable happened. A Chinese automaker named BYD quietly sold more battery electric vehicles than Tesla, officially snatching the global crown. By 2024 and into 2025, BYD didn't just sustain this momentum, they expanded it and became a global juggernaut, selling over 4.2 million electric vehicles in a single year, aggressively expanding into Europe, South America, and beyond.
There's competitors now ramping up, and as you're familiar with BYD, Warren Buffett owns 10% stake in that. Why do you laugh? BYD is trying to compete. Why do you laugh?
Have you seen their car?
You don't see them at all as a competitor?
No.
Even Elon Musk, who once openly laughed at BYD cars in a 2011 interview, has changed his tune, warning investors that Chinese automakers would demolish most other car companies in the world without trade barriers.
With companies in China, I think they're extremely competitive, hardworking, and smart. And I think there's going to be just a massive wave of Chinese products going out into the world.
So how did a car company that started out by making batteries for old flip phones rise to beat the most valuable car company on earth?
For many years, the global car market has been dominated by the same small group, but no longer. In the span of 5 years, China leapfrogged the largest automakers in the world, going from 6th place to 1st.
Is China winning the EV war against America? Today, we're taking a deep dive into the history of BYD, the secret weapon hidden in their technology, and how the global battle for the future of transportation is being fought and won. To understand BYD, which stands for Build Your Dreams, you have to look at its founder, Wang Shanfu. Born into a poor farming family, Wang was a brilliant chemist who recognized a massive shift happening in the mid-1990s. As mobile phones began to explode in popularity, he recognized the coming surge in demand for rechargeable batteries. And in 1995, Wang founded BYD as a battery manufacturing company. At the time, the rechargeable battery market was dominated by Japanese giants like Sony and Sanyo. But Wang figured out how to manufacture batteries cheaper by replacing expensive automated assembly lines with a vast workforce of Chinese laborers. By the early 2000s, if you owned a Motorola or Nokia phone, there was a good chance it was powered by BYD. But Wang had bigger ambitions. In 2003, flush with cash from an IPO, BYD bought a failing state-owned automobile manufacturer called Zian Qinshan Automobile. And his investors absolutely hated that idea. The BYD stock dropped. After all, what did a battery company know about building cars? At first, absolutely nothing. Their early attempts were rough, and by rough I mean they were incredibly ugly, so much so that dealers refused to sell it. Wang personally smashed the prototype to pieces and wrote off $100 million in research and development losses. But failure didn't stop them, it refined them. In 2005, they released the BYD F3. To call it inspired by the Toyota Corolla would be polite. It was virtually a carbon copy, but it was cheap, reliable, and exactly what the market wanted. And it quickly became one of China's best-selling cars. While China was busy selling gas-powered copycats, Wang was secretly plotting his electric revolution. As early as 1997, he was buying old cars and stuffing them with golf cart batteries to see how they worked. In 2008, BYD launched the F3 DM.
The F6 DM.
The world's first mass-produced plug-in hybrid. That same year, a legendary investor noticed them. Charlie Munger convinced Warren Buffett to invest $232 million for a 10% stake in BYD.
BYD is backed by Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway and considered entering the U.S. market in 2008 when Buffett acquired 10% of the company.
Munger described Wang as a combination of Thomas Edison and Jack Welch. Buffett's backing gave BYD immense global credibility, fueling their R&D just as the Chinese government decided to heavily prioritize what they called new energy vehicles.
For most countries, EV is seen as the future of driving, but for China, the future has arrived. It's here now.
So you may be wondering, how is BYD actually beating Tesla on a technological level?
BYD is so much ahead of Tesla in China, it's almost ridiculous.
Well, that answer lies underneath the floorboards of their cars. It's all about the battery. For years, the industry standard for high-performance EVs, including Tesla's, has been lithium, nickel, manganese, cobalt, or NMC batteries. They're energy-dense, giving great range, but they're expensive, prone to overheating, and rely on cobalt, a mineral plagued by severe ethical and supply chain issues.
You came here for the cobalt.
We came here for
There's
the cobalt.
cobalt in these hills.
Yeah, that's right.
A big reason that cobalt's in demand again? Because its value is going up. We need it for batteries.
Without these minerals, we simply cannot function.
Because BYD started as a battery company, they never had to outsource their core tech. They pioneered the Blade battery, unveiled in 2020. Using lithium iron phosphate, or LFP chemistry, BYD eliminated cobalt entirely. Historically, LFP batteries were cheaper and safer, but lacked the energy density needed for long-range cars. But BYD changed the game through brilliant packaging. They shaped the battery cells into long, flat blades that act as structural components of the battery pack. This saves space and allows them to pack more cells into the same footprint. It actually works so well and saves so much space that they could pack enough LFP cells into a car to match the range of traditional, more volatile batteries. The Blade battery is cheaper to make, lasts for thousands of charge cycles without degrading, and is practically immune to thermal runaway or fires. The technology is so good that Tesla actually buys BYD Blade batteries for some of its cars produced at Giga Berlin. Let that sink in. Tesla is a customer of BYD. But the battery is just one piece of the puzzle, and only part of the story. The real reason BYD can underprice Tesla and everyone else is vertical integration. While traditional automakers, and to some extent Tesla, rely on thousands of third-party suppliers for parts, BYD makes almost everything in-house. They make their own electric motors, their own electronic control systems, their own seats, their own dashboards, and crucially, their own semiconductors. When the global chip shortage halted auto production worldwide in 2021.
A perfect storm of scarcity squeezing the global auto market, all because of a worldwide shortage of these semiconductors.
BYD barely flinched. And a big reason they barely flinched is they have their own lithium mines and a fleet of massive cargo ships to export their cars globally.
This is the largest car carrier in the world, the BYD Shenzhen. At full capacity, it can carry up to 9,200 vehicles. The BYD ship has 16 decks and holds the current record as the largest car carrier in active service. The Shenzhen is BYD's fourth self-built transport ship.
BYD doesn't just build the car, they built the whole supply chain. And this ruthless efficiency brings us to the numbers. So let's look at how this sales battle actually plays out.
This car is the latest creation of BYD, a Shenzhen-based electric vehicle maker that's taking the world by storm. Today, it's China's biggest car company by sales, and in 2025, for the first time, BYD beat Tesla in total car sales.
For years, Tesla dominated EV sales. In 2023, Tesla delivered an impressive 1.81 million fully electric vehicles. BYD delivered 1.57 million fully electric vehicles, plus another 1.4 million plug-in hybrids, pushing their total electrified vehicle sales to over 3 million. But 2024 was a huge tipping point. The gap in pure battery electric vehicle sales narrowed to a razor-thin margin. In 2024, Tesla delivered roughly 1.7 million EVs, while BYD delivered 1.76 million. But when you add in BYD's plug-in electric hybrids, their total 2024 sales exploded past 4.25 million vehicles worldwide. In early 2025, BYD officially overtook Tesla as the world's largest electric car maker and pushed past legacy giants like Ford in total automotive sales.
Welcome back. Chinese car makers have set a new sales record. For the first time, 4 manufacturers have entered the top 10, including BYD, GWM, MG and Chery.
So how is BYD pushing so much metal? That's actually quite simple. They have massive product diversity.
The majority of their cars are in the mass market, so that helps with volume.
BYD is not just in the passenger car market, it makes trucks, buses, and other vehicles as well. But its passenger cars are what account for the majority of its sales. The company offers several models at a variety of price points.
Tesla essentially relies on 2 aging models for the vast majority of its sales, the Model 3 and the Model Y. especially since the Cybertruck didn't seem to take off like Tesla was hoping it would.
Tesla's Cybertruck is the auto industry's biggest flop in decades. Tesla sold just under 40,000 in 2024, its first full year. There's no sign that volume is rising this year, according to Cox Automotive.
BYD, on the other hand, operates like a smartphone company, launching new or refreshed models constantly. They basically have a car for every single income bracket. At the bottom, you have the BYD Seagull, an excellent, practical electric hatchback that starts at under $10,000 in China. It's profitable, high quality, and democratizes EV ownership in a way that Tesla has only promised to do. At the top end, BYD launched the Yangwang brand. The U8 is a massive luxury SUV that can float on water and do 360-degree tank turns. The U9 is an electric hypercar that can literally jump off the ground using its advanced suspension system. BYD has beaten Tesla not by making better luxury cars, but by making EVs accessible to the masses while slowly creeping up into the premium segments. But we can't talk about the rise of BYD without talking about the big geopolitical elephant in the room. Is this just the story of a brilliant company, or is it the story of the Chinese government winning an industrial war against America? The truth is, it's kind of both. Over the last 15 years, the Chinese government recognized that they could never beat the US, Germany, and Japan at making internal combustion engines. All of these legacy automakers have a 100-year-plus head start. The Chinese government poured an estimated $60 billion into subsidies for the EV sector up to 2018, and billions more since. But crucially, they didn't just subsidize the cars, they subsidized the entire supply chain. They invested tens of billions of dollars not just into cars, but into the entire ecosystem. Mining, batteries, manufacturing, the whole infrastructure. They built an environment where companies like BYD could scale rapidly and compete globally. State-backed banks helped Chinese companies buy up lithium and cobalt mines in Africa and South America. They created policies that essentially forced foreign automakers to buy Chinese batteries if they wanted to sell cars in China, while the US subsidized EVs by giving consumers tax credits, which automakers often use to pad their profit margins or pay dividends to shareholders. But China funded R&D and manufacturing capacity. This created a brutal, hyper-competitive domestic market in China, a crucible that forged companies like BYD into highly efficient, low-margin machines. And now that machine is looking outward, because the Chinese domestic market is locked in a brutal price war, forcing BYD to expand globally. In 2024, their overseas sales jumped by a whopping 70%. They're building factories in Hungary, Brazil, and Mexico, and that factory in Mexico is what terrifies Washington and Detroit. The United States currently slaps a massive 100% tariff on Chinese EVs, effectively banning them from the US market. That means if a $25,000 car from China is imported in the US, it now becomes $50,000, making it virtually impossible to compete with the American market. If Chinese EVs want to come to America, they have to be less than the American counterparts. Europe has also instituted heavy tariffs. Western governments argue that BYD's artificially low prices, propped up by state subsidies, threaten to wipe out their domestic auto industries, much like Chinese solar panels wiped out Western competitors a decade ago. But BYD argues that their price advantage comes from early investment, superior tech, and scale, not just government handouts. Regardless, the geopolitical walls are closing in, turning the EV market into a fractured regional war. As we look into the future, the war between Tesla and BYD is far from over. It's merely just entered a whole new phase. Tesla is heavily pivoting towards artificial intelligence, autonomous driving, and robotics. Elon Musk believes that the future of Tesla isn't just making cars, but making fleets of self-driving robo-taxis. BYD, however, remains laser-focused on manufacturing dominance. They're churning out better, cheaper, and more advanced cars faster than anyone else on the planet, slowly conquering the global South, Europe, and Australia. Is China winning the EV war against America? In terms of manufacturing scale, battery technology, and supply chain dominance? The answer right now is yes. BYD played the long game, starting with a humble battery and ending with a global empire. Tesla proved to the world that people wanted electric cars. But BYD is proving that they're the ones who can actually afford to build them for everyone. The question now isn't whether BYD can catch Tesla. The question is whether Western automakers and Western governments can do anything to stop BYD from driving away with the future of the automotive industry.